just me? Or does anyone else, when you're taking a shower and you're going along happily shampooing your head and you get slapped in the face with an idea and you have to jump out of the shower to draw it out because otherwise it's gonna leave your brain? No? No, just me? Okay. Well, that's what happened here. I made the mistake of going to Instagram. P.S. Go follow me on Instagram so you get to have a say in what happens. And I asked y'all whether or not you wanted to see a one-size pant or if you wanted to see this cottagecore dress, and, well, oops. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not terribly a huge cottagecore person. I was desperately trying to think of a way to make this fit into my wardrobe, things I would wear, and I realized it's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So then I went, well, what could I do that would be costumey enough for this? Insert the shower situation.
That didn't sound right when you said it on our honeymoon, and it doesn't sound right now.
And well, I decided that this needs to become a Cottagecore Buzz Lightyear Disneybound. Because yes, how many different trends can I cram into one video? So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and take this lovely 1970s simplicity pattern that looks like it was from My Little House on the Prairie. And I'm gonna instead turn it into a Buzz Lightyear cottagecore. Let me explain. But first I have someone who wants to help. As you can see, this is the drawing that I did immediately out of the shower. And the first thing that we see is that I'm really gonna do a primarily white dress, and then bright green trim along the bottom, and a little purple, of course, to go along with the bottom of Buzz's feet. I will also add some little green rickrack there along the way. And of course, we can't forget the marking so that everyone knows that I am one of Andy's toys.
Do you know these life forms?
Yes! They're Andy's toys.
But as I don't have any of these primary colors, a quick trip to Joann's was indeed necessary. And our special guest star and my unicorn friend decided to help me out picking out some colors. Why yes, that'll do nicely. And I did find some bright green sheets at Goodwill, so I was able to just match the rickrack there at Joann's. Good morning. Welcome to day 2. Last night I decided to go ahead and cut out the whole thing, and I did make sure to save one piece so that I could show you exactly how I did what I did last night, but I was far too tired last night to actually go ahead and do it, so here we are. And yes, again, I have no makeup because in case you haven't realized on this channel, I don't sew with makeup on, but I did put my pearls on just for you. You're welcome. Side tracks with Steph. Quick pondering. Does anyone else start a project, think that it's gonna take not that long, and then realize that you vastly underestimated the amount of time it's gonna take and that you're trying to fit flat pieces of things to rounded shapen bodies? It can't just be me, right? Anyway, to explain how I did this, let's go ahead and jump to the floor now, shall we? So what I did last night, I went ahead and used my handy dandy snake that looks like a tape measure because I can't find the one that's wooden. At least I couldn't last night. And what I did was I'd go ahead and measure a couple points along each line and then adjusted out one more size. Is this going to come back and bite me in the ass? It's entirely possible. Because the notches they don't make sense. A lot of the times I would put a notch basically into the seam allowance, which doesn't make any sense. So, anyway, this could be a nightmare to put together. But I figured I would give this way a shot and see how it works. So, what better time to do it than on a costume that I probably won't wear all that much. But now that I am done going ahead and tracing that out and cutting it out, let's go ahead and jump back over to sewing time. Sewing time! Just kidding. So I went to go and get the instructions and the darting that I know has to happen first. Okay, nothing exciting there. And then I opened the instructions just to make sure. I mean, I know the dart's the first thing, but then I was like, what's the next step? They want me to interface right here on the collar, on the exterior fabric of the dress. Well, friends, we've hit our first nah bitch moment, because that's not happening. No way. It's a costume. I am not putting that much energy into it. I understand there'll be rickrack on the front. It might get a little wavy at a certain point, but guess what? It's costume! I don't care. And then after Dart Town on the front, we go to Dart Town on the back. It's a real short trip, trust me. And then some more interfacing, which we're doing the second nah bitch moment. And then we get to the shoulder and the side seams. Great. And because this one is a center back zip, I don't have to do my little funky open up the stitching situation so that I can get a side zip, because it's a center back zip this go around. Winning. All right, let's do some darts. Now you see it? Now you don't. It's like magic. Magic. All right. Darts are done as they're gonna get, and they're not perfect. But do I care? I mean, yes, I actually do care, but it's also a costume, so I don't actually care / have the time to deal with it. So anyway, that's done. Front and both back panels. Huzzah. And now I'm going to seam the whole thing around and then look at the instructions and decide what's next. But of course not with after walking back to my sewing machine and stepping on a needle, which I now think the entire floor is lava. And so now we're gonna just have to carefully walk around the rest of the room to see if there are any more hand needles or sewing pins on my floor. I hate carpeting. Crikey, we're lucky. Here's one of the wild seamstresses in her natural habitat. Oh, she doesn't look happy with that fit. Oh my. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the drink tin today. I have now finished my lunch, got more coffee, because, well, I needed it. And now we're back to the instructions. So my bodice is fully done and it doesn't look perfect, but I don't care. We're just it's gonna be fine. Anyway, we're gonna do some facings now, it looks like. We got front and back facing is what it's telling me to do next, along with lots of stay stitching, which but I don't know if I care that much. It's a costume. Yeah, and then it starts getting attached and we are wearing a tank top underneath because, dear God, that is see-through. And this is the thickest fabric I could find. So here we are. Whee! And now we've reached the section of the journey where the notches not lining up were a serious pain in my butt. I did my best to finagle them to vaguely get close to each other, but it definitely wasn't completely successful. However, there aren't any giant puckers, so I'll still call it a win. And fun fact, blankly staring at the instructions does not actually make the information go into your brain in any clean type of manner. Just thought I'd share that with you all in case anyone was curious. And it was no small miracle that I was actually able to get the facings onto the garment itself. With some slight struggles, but hey, we got there. And now that all those facings were attached, here's the fun thing, is the next bit. I'm supposed to add the rickrack that I wanted to around the neckline. Was it in the bag with my thread from Joann's? No, it was not. So, real life now I have to go find it because I have no idea where it is. So, I'll be back, hopefully with some rickrack.
A few moments later.
So you know that scene I did from To Sew Successfully where you see me like tearing apart my sewing room? Well, that may or may not just happen in real life, but I found it! Ha-ha! So now I'm gonna go ahead and attach it so that I can't lose it again. Because not saying I've ever done that before. Once the ironing was done, I did switch back to white so that I would not have green thread for the double turn sleeve hems, because even tired brains can occasionally function. Hello! Welcome to day 3. Today, we tackle the skirt. Why? Because I'm a terrible YouTuber, and I put on the sleeves last night without actually recording anything because I was tired and had had an alcoholic beverage, so I didn't really feel like recording anything. So what we have, ta-da, is a bodice. Yay! And our third nah bitch moment of this video is right here. I put it on again and I was unclear if the zipper would close, so I did actually decide to go back, pop the dart out, and do it right. Well, okay, do it right. I gave myself an extra ½ inch on either dart so that overall I bought myself an inch from the front. I also dropped it about an inch just so that it wasn't quite so, Madonna. Pointy boobs. So, I did do that. And you can see here that the only single fold bias that I had was blue. And this is a little see-through, so good thing it's a costume and there's blue on Buzz a little bit. So we're just not going to worry about it and we're going to move on. These sleeves actually are relatively easy. What I did was a narrow hem for this, and then I attached the bias along the little line they gave me. Fed elastic through it. I am rapidly running out of that, so I'm going to get more elastic soon. And then you can see set the sleeves, didn't bother to pull the rest of the threads yet because I'm lazy. But I did also have to trim the insides and kind of get it in. Thankfully, sewing these sleeves in went well the first go around. Yay! It's so rare. So each sleeve went in with no seam pulling, no picking, and I am sure I have now jinxed myself and will screw the skirt and or ruffle up so badly that I have to do it like 5 times, but we'll hope. But I think it is coming along nicely. It is definitely way more sheer than I wanted. Yes, Candy, I see you. But I'm excited because it's a bodice. And now we can move on to the skirt. Bam. Could they actually see you? I don't know if they could see you. Should we say hi and good morning? I don't think they could see. Hi. Hi. Say good morning, everyone. Mommy has to go sew now. Since this was a 2-tier skirt, there was a lot of gathering involved. Because both sections were gathered. And unfortunately for the top section, I definitely was not the best at not grabbing my threads along the way and all my seams as I sewed, so that's why you see the lovely seam ripper to my side so that I could actually gather the daggone skirt panels. Okay, so gathering is done. Ish. Basically got it vaguely manageable. The next instruction is like, hey, time to put the skirt and the bodice together. Great, cool, love that. And the side front seams go with the darts, which makes that super easy. Great, love that. The other ones say to use a dart, a nart? What was that? A marking, aka a tailor tack that I didn't put on there. Oops. So we're just gonna sort of center it up and it'll be fine. Also, it says to baste the skirt before sewing it, and you guessed it, nah bitch, that's not happening. Also, be better than me. Don't be me. You can do better, but I am on a deadline, and so we're just gonna get going, and I'm still talking, so I should stop talking and start sewing now. Okay, let's go! And now comes the part where I must apologize for the momentarily crappy audio, but I feel that this needs to be shared. This crap is why I normally seam this together, because otherwise you get all the colors. I have purple basting it in, I have the pins from pinning it in, and then you can see here, that's the tail of the red that's holding this whole thing together. This is why I don't normally do this. Alright, let's sew the thing. And then I tried it on. Where's the rest of the skirt? Ow. Ow, that's the metal zipper grabbing my hair. I can't turn around. That's not acceptable. I would get demonetized. Well, that was enlightening now, wasn't it? So what I've decided to do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to, instead of cutting out 3-inch strips of purple to put along the bottom, I'm gonna cut out 6-inch strips of purple, because a little bit of wiggle room between me and the floor is not the end of the world, but that pattern diagram, she lied. Get your muffler fixed. Anyway, I just wanted to check in after that lovely little enlightening try-on just so that we could dive right into the voiceover section with at least a slight bit of humor because, well, I'm gonna go eat dinner and then I'm gonna lose the light, so we're gonna go into voiceover mode for this next little bit. And also because that was comical, but also slightly disheartening. But it's fine, it's fine. I'm gonna make the best of it. Sally forth! I don't know where that came from. And if you thought that after gathering down literal 7 yards of ruffle that I would not then reenact a scene from The Flying Nun, you would be incorrect. Now for actual day 3, I had zero desire to be actually in front of the camera. So here I am going ahead and attaching 7 yards of gathered ruffle to the skirt, which was no short miracle, let me tell you that. And then I used my lovely 6-inch grid that I picked up recently to go ahead and cut a little marking, and then that's right, we're just gonna tear that bad boy straight on down. And we're gonna give it a quick check. Did it stay? Yes, it did! And there's only one place that I can truly think of to show you the reveal. Come on, hop on the monorail with us. Almost there. That's the ticket. Tomorrowland. And yes, I did take the time to actually embroider Andy, even though it was quite last minute, but I did manage to make it on there. Well, look who we found! The lovely Liz Von Villas, both on YouTube and Instagram as one and the same. And just so happened to be Disneybounding as Pizza Planet. And yes, this is the part where I get really awkward. Ain't it lovely? Because I don't know how to pose. And of course I had to make my daughter a matching Woody cosplay as well. Ah, Star Command, now we're cooking with gas. Well, hello Inspiration, how are you? Time to bring out the inner child. Let's go. We take ourselves very seriously here on YouTube. And if I do say so myself, that is the best score I have ever gotten on this game. A quick ride around the carousel, and we had a wonderful day at the Magic Kingdom. And as the park came to a close, this is the part where I tell you, hey, if you enjoyed this, you should go ahead and click the like button, being sure to subscribe so that you can see future content from me. And I'm gonna go ahead and hop on this ferry boat and head on home. Oh yeah, here's some funny stuff if you want to watch. Pointy boobs! It's been too long since I've been up here to do this. And hey, let's sew now, y'all. Okay, I'm done. This is my dog's new habit. She'll wake up in the morning and decide to run upstairs. And then she dives into the floor and finds some random sock that we've dropped and comes to our bed with sock in mouth. It's very cute. Does this qualify as a good sock? No. No, we have decided the sock is not good enough. Okay. A mermaid table. Do I need to trace this? Can I get by with just increasing it by measuring? I think I'm gonna try. we're gonna wing it.